Hey, I want to welcome everyone to tonight's health talk. Thank you all so much for spending the next half hour or so with us tonight. I'm really excited about the topic. My name is Brian Gresh, for those of you who don't know me. I've been a pharmacist, I hate to admit this, for 39 years. I should be proud of that. Um, and many of those years, I owned a community pharmacy and I owned a compounding pharmacy as well. So I found myself knee deep in pharmaceuticals. What we're going to talk about tonight is not something I learned in pharmacy school. I did learn about biochemistry and I learned about how the body works with all different types of nutrients, but I was not taught anything about nutrition. I was taught about pharmaceuticals. Through my career, what I soon realized was we are not deficient necessarily in pharmaceuticals. So we're going to talk about some key things that anybody can implement into their life. So I'm just going to share my screen here. So we're going to talk about health here. Get this functioning. There we go. Today's goal for me is education and inspiration. How to take better care of your body, why quality supplementation is important for optimal health. And to answer the question, your body is talking. Are you listening? My personal mission is to provide someone with information that they can act on today so they can feel better tomorrow. Because if I believe if people feel better, they're going to take more actions towards optimal health. Nothing I say tonight has been approved or evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, just a disclaimer. And none of the products, we are going to talk about a couple of products, they're not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure or prevent any disease. But that's okay because I truly believe the body has the ability to do that on its own if we provide it what it needs. Are we providing it what it needs today? If there was one thing you could change about your health today or in the future, what would it be? That's one of my favorite questions. I'm going to ask Jackie to share her answer. Jackie, if there was one thing you could change about your health today or in the future, what would it be?
Well, I would say weight management, number one, and joint pain.
Absolutely. Would you all agree that no matter who you talk to, they have an answer for this question? Are you as full of energy, mentally sharp, and vibrant as you'd like to be? Are you sleeping well? How's your stress level? How's your digestive system? Are you lean and strong? Pain free? Are you at a healthy weight and blood sugar? Are you physically active? How's your immune system? Is that your picture over there on the side? It's not mine. In talking to people, so many people feel out of balance today. Why? Latest research shows that 90% of all Americans are deficient in essential nutrients. What are essential nutrients? They're nutrients that the body needs for optimal health. We know the reasons why. Our farming, the pesticides, the chemicals, the processed foods, the fast foods. Our food industry, in my opinion, does not have our health as their number one interest. And that's a big issue. Because of that, I believe supplementation is no longer a luxury, it's a requirement for optimal health. Supplements provide the essential vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that we need every day to function. The benefits are endless. Just a few listed here: energy, joint health, sinus health, skin health, sleep, maintaining heart health, and so much more. So here I was practicing as a pharmacist and not taught it. Well, I take that back. I was taught one thing about vitamins in pharmacy school: waste of money because you're going to pee them out. And that was a quote from the 1 hour lecture I had on vitamins. I remember that to this day. But what I found as I was working out in pharmacy, in my pharmacy, and then in the world of compounding, knee deep in bioidentical hormones, is nutrition started playing a bigger role in patients' lives. I was learning from my patients. And so I decided to start taking vitamins. Never really saw any great results until I learned about one concept. So what are your results? What do you take for a supplement? Are you seeing the results that you want to see? because I believe it's not just what we take, it's what we absorb. And many of the products on the market, all supplements are not created equal. Many of the products on the market, our body simply can't utilize. These are x-rays, and they show clearly undigested tablets and capsules. Is that person getting the benefit from their supplements? No. So I learned about absorption, and I learned about a very unique delivery system that changed everything for me, because I was recommended by somebody had severe allergies. Anybody with allergies out there? We're getting into allergy season here. I had severe allergies all my life as a child. They told me, don't worry about it, Brian, you'll grow out of it as you get older. No, they got worse. Somebody recommended I try a product. I looked at the ingredients. I said, I've taken all this stuff before. They said, try it.
I just
I
couldn't
took
hear.
it
It
home.
was stopped working on my radio.
So if you
Stop
could
working
mute
on the right.
yourself,
Uh-huh.
Raina, that would be, there we go. So I tried this product. Ragweed season had hit. I was suffering. 3 days into it, my symptoms disappeared. I wanted to know why. It didn't cure me of anything. I wanted to know why. And what I learned about was this unique delivery system. And I'm going to share a 1-minute
Stop swallowing
video
pills.
on the delivery system here.
Stop swallowing pills that go nowhere. Meet Isotonics, superior vitamins that millions have trusted for 30 years as the best on the market. Unlike most supplements, Isotonics works with your body's natural hydration process for maximum results with an isotonic formula. That means you're not just taking these vitamins, you're absorbing them. Get 95% bioavailability, up to 8 times faster than typical capsules. These are the science-backed ingredients with fast-acting results your body deserves. Simply mix the powder with the recommended amount of water, drink, and go. It's that easy. No binders, no coatings, no junk. Just high-quality nutrients delivering results you'll feel. If you're tired of wasting money and time on pills, then drink to your health with Isotonics.
So I had never heard of isotonics. What I had heard of was IV nutrition, getting that type of an absorption. And when I learned about this, I could really appreciate it, because when we take tablets and capsules, especially, I showed you those x-rays of those hard pressed ones, we're just not breaking them down, and they sit in the stomach for 40 minutes to 4 hours. With the isotonic formulas, you get the ingredients through that pyloric valve and into the intestine within 5 to 15 minutes. Rapid absorption, so it gets into the bloodstream where it needs to be. I recommend when people ask me, Brian, what should I start with a nutritional protocol? I have not come across anything better than the Daily Essentials packets. Why? This is a multivitamin, but it's more than just a multivitamin. It contains 4 different products all in one packet. And I'm going to talk mostly about one product there, the OPC3. But before I do, the multivitamin in it, when I looked at the ingredients, I quickly realized it was all the right forms of the ingredients. It wasn't the synthetic vitamin E, it was all the natural ingredients that the body can use. Our activated B complex has the methylated form of vitamin B. Many people can't methylate their B vitamins. So you take a supplement that you buy out there, you take it, you swallow it, and your body can't do anything with it because 30% of us don't have the genetics to methylate that. This formula has that, and the calcium is highly absorbable. But really, why I believe this is a multivitamin that gets results is because it has that OPC3. That was the one product that was shared with me when I was a very skeptical pharmacist. So what I learned about it, it's a high quality combination of antioxidants. Probably the most researched antioxidant in this formula is pycnogenol. Has hundreds of research papers on it. What does it do? What doesn't it do? It combats free radicals, helps maintain healthy cholesterol levels, circulation, arteries, veins, helps promote cardiovascular health, joint health, visual health, blood glucose levels, sinus comfort. 3 days on this, I haven't had allergies since. I also had chronic bloody noses prior to taking this. Gone. No longer have that. So I started taking this and people started to take notice. I wanted to learn more about this product because I knew I had something unlike anything I had seen. Well, my mother came home from Florida in a lot of pain. She had osteoarthritis. She was practically in tears. She had a doctor's appointment. She says, "You got to give me something. My appointment is not till Friday." I said, "Well, I don't know. Why don't you try this?" I had started learning about it. Few days after taking this, she calls me up. She says, "Hey, Brian, thanks a lot." I said, "What do you mean, thanks a lot?" "It's 11 o'clock at night and I'm cleaning the basement because of that purple stuff you gave me." So to me, it really is about results. I'll tell one more quick story because I really want to get on to our featured speaker here. This is Tony. Was my 4.5-year-old Yorkie poodle. Well, he went to the vet, and unbeknownst to me, the vet gave him 4 vaccinations at once. Within a week, he ended up in the ICU of the big vet hospital about an hour away from me with immune-mediated hemolytic anemia. What does that mean? His body was killing his red blood cells faster than they could be produced. It's 80% fatal in dogs. So after a week of blood transfusions every night, they'd get his levels up a little bit, they'd crash down the next day. They wanted to put him down. 4.5-year-old, 8-pound dog. So I said, what'll happen if I take him home? They said, "Oh, he won't last the weekend." I said, "Well, I'll take him home." I took him home, and this was Saturday morning, sitting on the floor. He couldn't even live. Look, there's no life in his eyes there. So I knew what the OPC3 did for my immune health. I said, I'm going to mix up some OPC3 into some aloe juice, and I found a greens product to give him, and I started feeding it to him every day. Monday rolls around, he's still with us. Call the vet hospital. I said, "What do we do now?" They said, "Well, bring him down. We'll see him again." They gave him one more blood transfusion. This was Tuesday morning. This 4.5-year-old dog is still with us at 17, and he's lived a happy life. To me, it's about results. I could spend hours tonight just talking about results that I've had with that one product, but it's in the daily essentials. Everybody needs to consider that one basic thing to change your health. So we're going to talk about what I think really fires up the daily essentials, and that's adding the H2 tablets. Hydrogen tablets have come on the scene in hydrogen bottles and hydrogen water recently. And of course, I didn't know anything about it, so I had to educate myself. And what I learned was really pretty powerful. Hydrogen is the smallest, lightest, most abundant element in the universe. It can easily penetrate deep into tissues and pass through cell membranes. High bioavailability and antioxidant properties have been shown to enable faster absorption. High bioavailability means it passes the blood-brain barrier, so it gets into your brain. Shown to enable faster absorption and hydrate more efficiently than regular water, helping promote cellular health, athletic recovery, and cognitive function. One more video, it's 49 seconds long.
Meet the best hydrogen tablet on the planet, the H2 Tab. Perfected through years of research, this highly concentrated formula delays signs of aging. Backed by extensive scientific studies, molecular hydrogen penetrates deep into tissues and cells. Just drop, dissolve, and drink to instantly release nanobubbles that deliver a burst of energy, mental clarity, and unbelievable support for gut health, metabolism, and muscle performance. Whether you're an athlete hitting high-intensity training, a CEO tackling tough projects, or a busy mom taking care of everyone and everything, see how the fast-acting benefits of hydrogen can improve your day-to-day life. Get H2 Tab and unlock your potential with hydrogen.
So the list of benefits from hydrogen is, this is probably not even a complete list. All these effects are supported by scientific literature out there. And I apologize, the print is very small there. How do you take this product? Well, it's a little tablet. You drop it in a cup of water, you let it dissolve, and you drink it. You don't stir it up because you want those bubbles in there. But really, for me, I'm already taking my daily essentials in the morning. I just drop my H2 tablet right into my daily essentials. It really supercharges that. It's been a game changer for me. So at this point, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about new technology, new product that's been released. We're going to talk about Go Trim Thin. We're going to answer the questions, what is GLP-1 and why it's important to your health? We're going to talk about pharmaceutical GLP-1 weight loss injections you've all heard of, and what are the barriers and challenges for patients. We're going to talk about what Go Trim Thin is and how it's different from pharmaceuticals, and who would, most importantly, who would benefit from GLP-1 support. And I am so honored to have a special guest speaker this evening to share her expertise on this product. Tina is a board certified women's healthcare nurse practitioner for 38 years, proudly for 38 years, like me. In 2011, she founded Just Us Women Health Center in Attleboro, Massachusetts. And today, Tina continues making an impact on patients' health by educating other health professionals on the benefits of providing natural alternatives to their patients. Tina, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Brian. I'm just thrilled to be here and talk about one of my favorite topics, health and wellness.
Excellent. Can you share with us how you got here? What was your journey like to optimal health?
Okay, when you said how I got here, I was like, well, you'd have to talk to my parents, but yeah, I've been a nurse practitioner trained in the traditional medical system, as you know. And after 21 years in a small community practice, in 2010, corporate medicine came in and bought all the community hospitals in the area. You know about all that, right? When corporate medicine takes over. So I was a casualty of the takeover, and they decided I had been there too long and was making too much money. So they said, bye-bye. And so I decided at that point I needed to find a way to take care of my own patients. So I was one of the first of nurse practitioners in Massachusetts in 2010 to open up my own clinic, and it was, Just Us Women Health Center. I did traditional gynecology, but I thought of myself more as a integrative women's health practitioner, because the physician that helped me open the practice, we needed a collaborating physician at the time, she introduced me to the wellness model of care, and it was a game changer. And she also said I needed to have my own special sauce if I was going to stand out. And it was a blessing. And from that moment on, I started studying more functional medicine, integrative medicine, lifestyle medicine, wherever I can get my hands on, as a way of helping my patients. And that helped my practice thrive and grow, because word got around that I was an integrative practitioner and I was going to really work with the patients rather than just prescribe things to them.
Right. And you and I have both seen how healthcare has changed, particularly in the last couple of years with the craze around the GLP-1 injections. Can you shed some light on that? What you found as far as patients' results and challenges and whatnot?
Well, I've never used them, never prescribed them, never even, I started teaching weight management in my practice back in probably 2012. And I never wanted to use the pharmaceuticals that were available then either, because I felt like they'd be a Band-Aid. And, when we think about being trained in traditional medicine, hormones, I was women's health, gynecology. I knew all about hormones. I loved endocrinology. And yet I never once heard about a hormone called GLP-1. Never knew there was a hormone in our stomachs that regulated our blood sugars, helped our metabolism, steady metabolism, helped us burn fat. Who knew? And then all of a sudden, with the rapid increase of type 2 diabetes, and they were coming out with all these new things, these injectables were created for diabetics, and they noticed the side effect of weight loss. And little by little over the years, all you heard about the last 5 years was the skinny shot, the skinny shot. And yes, people lost weight, but at what cost?
100%. I mean, there's so many barriers for patients. I've seen it as a pharmacist. Insurance companies don't want to pay. The expense if you're paying out of pocket, it's over $1,000 a month for most of these things, and the side effects are barriers to many people to continue them. So that leads us to here to talk about Go Trim Thin. So take it away.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. The side effects. And, you know, we've seen the pharmaceutical companies really trying, when they come up with all these new medications, they really want chronic use medications. That's where their money is. And so with these injectables, you know, people were forced to stay on them because as soon as they lost the weight, now insurance isn't covering it anymore. They go off them and they have no metabolism because it burned muscle as well as fat. It wasn't selective. And, you know, these poor people gained even more weight back because their metabolism was shot. But here you go. Did you know that GLP-1 is produced in your gut, and it's the natural metabolism booster? And GLP-1 is produced in our gut to help our body do what it was designed to do, which is control appetite, burn fat, and stabilize blood sugar to provide that healthy metabolism. So what the product that we're going to be talking about, the Go Trim Thin, and the problem is, you know, over the years, you think about our food changes, processed foods, low fat this, all the chemicals and the additives that they're putting in our foods has really altered our gut microbiome. And, you know, the gut is the command center. People often say the gut is your second brain, but Tina says the gut is really your first brain because our hormones need nutrients to be synthesized and for the glands to make these hormones. And you think about serotonin. How many people realize that 70 to 90% of our serotonin is found in our gut, and it's got to cross that blood-brain barrier to go to work in the brain. So your brain is never going to work without your gut. So I say the gut is the first brain, and we'll let the brain be the second brain. But over the years, as we've really altered our microbiome, we've produced less and less GLP-1. So not only are we eating more processed sugars and more carbohydrates and all that, but we're also changing our gut microbiome. So we're making less and less GLP-1s, and we're not producing enough of the healthy bacteria. We're not having a good bacteria, 80-20 good bacteria, bad bacteria. So some of the bad bacteria creates an enzyme which quickly degrades the GLP-1 that you do produce. So people aren't getting any of the effect from GLP-1. So what the pharmaceutical companies did is create a synthetic GLP-1 that they tried to tell people is going to mimic the body's natural GLP-1. But you know what they say about things that mimic your body.
Mother Nature knows best.
Absolutely. Yes, so it is your body's built-in metabolism regulator. And this product has been a game changer for my patients and as well as my colleagues. I've been working with nurse practitioners around the country. And I love that, you know, this company is very, very dedicated to their ethics and doing what's right and following DSHEA, the arm of the FDA that regulates supplementation. So, you know, when they put it right on the label, I was impressed. Support your body's natural GLP-1 production. They won't put that on there without the facts to back it up and the research. So, and that's exactly what it is. It's supporting the body with natural ingredients that I hope we'll be talking about to do what the body was designed to do. Burn fat, balance the metabolism to create energy, have that healthy metabolism, and stabilize blood sugar. So, you know, instead of forcing that weight loss, it is targeting the actual fat, not the muscle. So it's targeting metabolism at the source. So, you know, it's helping you achieve those results. These patients and the testimonials I have, people are achieving those results in a healthier, more natural way.
Let's talk about the ingredients.
Let's talk about the ingredients because I love, there's only 4 ingredients in there. And 2 of these ingredients are clinically studied, trademarked, registered trademarked ingredients. And the first one is Areomin. Areomen is nothing more than lemon extract. How much more natural can you get? All right, but it's a specific lemon extract that has been clinically studied in the right concentration to support GLP-1 production, enhance GLP-1 production to promote that fat burning and appetite control. I like to call it a GLP-1 agonist. It's going to help the body do what it does naturally, but produce more of that GLP-1. And the second trademarked ingredient is Tribiome. And you can imagine what this product does. It's written, oh, we're still talking about Areomen here now. Okay, so that's what it's doing. It's helping the body create more of that peptide. Also stimulates adiponectin production, which is also important for fat burning. Okay, and it promotes the populations of that gut bacteria. So it's going to work with the Tribiome. There you go. That's what adiponectin is, the fat burning hormone. But, you know, an adiponectin is, sometimes it's compared to that leptin hormone. Leptin is produced in your fat cells, and it's supposed to tell you that you're full, stop eating. That's that full sensation. But the difference with leptin is the more leptin you make, the less sensitive your body is going to be to it. So you develop what we call leptin resistance. And so that can cause people to start storing fat when they don't listen to their leptin. But with adiponectin and the GLP-1, the more you make, the more sensitive your body is to it. And so we actually see more results. You know, the more you make, the more it's going to work towards burning that fat. So, and again, yes, Areomen is going to help with the beneficial gut bacteria so that it doesn't get degraded. The GLP-1s won't be degraded that quickly in the gut. So you think about people who are producing their natural GLP-1s, how many people eat a full meal and 45 minutes later, they're hungry again? Well, the GLP-1 didn't last very long in the activity of the GLP-1 wasn't lasting. So that's why we want to really support the microbiome. And Areomen does that, works synergistically with that second trademarked ingredient, the Tribiome. And there you go. It's right in the title, Tribiome, 3-in-1 gut microbiome optimizer. It works in 3 different ways, as a prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic. But it's specifically working with the short chain fatty acids, the butyrates, to support that gut health, to support the bacteria so that we're getting more of the good probiotics and the good bacteria that's going to prevent that degradation of the GLP-1s. So, and when we support our gut, we know we're supporting our hormone production, all of our hormones, and we're promoting that energy expenditure so that we can burn more fat. And weight loss is not about the weight. I tell all my clients to just throw away the scale. It's not about the scale because, you know, if you weigh 200 pounds and fit into a size 6, you don't care what the scale says. Okay. And the scale doesn't tell you what your muscle mass is versus your fat mass. So we want the energy that we can get by building muscle mass and burning fat mass. And then the other 2 ingredients that are not clinically trademarked, but they're natural ingredients, they use to enhance the other 2 ingredients. Mulberry extract, it's white mulberry extract, which has this compound in it that can slow carbohydrate absorption. So it's almost like a carb inhibitor and slows that digestion. So it prevents that rapid absorption of the glucose into the bloodstream, which is going to trigger insulin production, which, you know, when people are going to bounce up and down, you know, that's when we're going to get too much insulin, we're going to get insulin resistance. So mulberry is going to work that way, but it also, mulberry extract is also going to support GLP-1 production. So it's going to work synergistically with the Areomen. This is my favorite that they added this on, saffron extract. Now, saffron is a spice that's been used in ancient Ayurvedic, I can't even say it, medicine for years, in natural medicine. And saffron as a spice has long been associated with mood, mental emotional balance and balancing the mood. So not only is it going to work in the gut to stabilize some of the mood hormones too, so that's going to help people with what I call the emotional aspects of overeating. You know, if you're too sad and depressed, you eat your feelings away. If you're angry and anxious, you're going to eat your feelings away. So for people who are emotional eaters, the saffron's going to help them. But it also influences that brain pathway that stores calories. So it's going to help burn them for energy. And it's going to support the microbiome with the tribiome as well, and the areome. Griffin, stop. So, yeah, it's not just about appetite and mood. It's definitely gonna help you feel full faster. It's gonna help you use up the energy from the calories, the stored calories, and help you burn more of that fat. So that's Go Trim Thin. It is definitely a smarter approach to metabolic health. And especially now, you know, I'm so excited that I'm talking to a pharmacist here because, you know, have you heard of the new regulations that came down the pike in April? Can you share a little bit more about that? Because that's what I've been working with some clinicians around the country.
So, you know, with the explosion of the information out there and patients demanding these prescription medications, huge shortages, the manufacturers couldn't keep up with it. Compounding pharmacies jumped in to fill the gap. And oftentimes now they're making a product with the same prescription ingredients at a less cost for the patients. Well, recently the FDA has said, okay, there's no more shortage. The compounding pharmacist role is over in the production of that. So many of these patients who have been on a more affordable version of the prescriptions are going to be left in the dust. And what happens when they're left in the dust, Tina, and they can't have that medication anymore? If it's not covered, they can't afford it, they're going to put the weight back on.
All the weight plus some. They're going to gain more because now they've really harmed their metabolism as well. And yeah, I've talked to a couple of nurse practitioner business owners that I'm very close to. And one of them actually spoke to her attorney, and the attorney read through the new regulations and said, do not, you know, so a lot of pharmacists, compounding pharmacists are still saying, oh, we'll make it for you. We'll make it for you. But, you know, we have to protect our license at all costs. And so I'm letting people know, you know, that they really need to be careful. But this is something we can offer our patients as an alternative. And I'm using it with people as they're trying to come off the injectables, because they can replace it with this and they feel that they're not going to gain the weight back. And then if they're still in the losing mode, they can still continue to lose. And
Right.
I do pair it with the Go Trim Slim oftentimes if they're still on the injectables, because the Slim product is going to selectively support the muscle mass and try and allow the injectables to not necessarily burn muscle. So last year there were a few nurse practitioners that I worked with, business owners and weight loss, that I showed them that if they are using the injectables, they really need to use the Go Trim Slim product, because that too has trademarked ingredients that has been shown to really preserve and help build muscle mass. Because that's the other big problem is, you know, when they think of it as the easy button, because it works so well at reducing their weight, they are not doing the work that they're supposed to be doing, that we teach them to do, like getting enough protein to prevent that muscle wasting. People are just non-compliant. They're not doing the exercise that they need to do to maintain that muscle mass, because they still see results on the scale, and that's all they care about. And so the Slim product, I felt, was a really good one to help people maintain their muscle mass while they're converting over to the thin.
Excellent. Tina, what type of feedback have you received from patients or their practitioners who've used the Go Trim Thin?
So yeah, actually the testimonials are phenomenal. initially it's only been out, this product, what, 2.5 months maybe?
Correct.
So we just released this 2.5 months ago, and already the results are pouring in with people noticing less appetite tremendously. And some of the things people told me is when they first started, it took about 4 days for them to start feeling it. And one woman said she noticed that she lost her snack attacks. She was a chronic snacker, especially at night. Evening time, she was always snacking. And so the first 4 days, she was hoping that she would stop snacking, but nothing. And then all of a sudden, she said on the 5th day, she just did not feel like snacking. She did not have a single snack. She thought it might have been a fluke. The next day, the 5th, 6th day, 7th day, she stopped even buying snacks. She never went for the snack aisle in the grocery store. She never felt like snacking. And at the end of 2 weeks, she noticed, and she was already doing a lifestyle weight loss program, but she lost 4 pounds at the end of 2 weeks.
Excellent.
And another one of my clients said that it altered her appetite so well. She didn't feel like snacking during the day. She was eating her meals. She said the hardest part, her biggest problem with it was that she had to remind herself to eat, because she knew she needed nutrients. So that was her issue. She's like, oh my, because she didn't feel hungry. And she definitely felt like when she ate, she didn't overfill herself. And, you know, what I always teach is that people should be eating before they're hungry. You know, we don't want to teach our body that food is going to give them that relief. You know, hunger pains, you eat and you get that relief, relief from the food. We don't want that. So that we teach people to eat, you know, every 2 to 3 hours to stabilize their blood sugars, but they don't have to eat, you know, the whole buffet.
Right. You don't need the whole bag of potato chips, maybe just a couple.
Right.
And I can attest to that too. I've been on this now for consistently now for a couple of weeks, and I am just not snacking like I was, and I was a snackaholic. And I'll be reporting back my results as well, because like many adult Americans, I am considered pre-diabetic with an A1C that needs to come down. So I'm very encouraged by this product. And when I have my next blood work done, we'll be talking about it. So
My husband on it. I'm not using it because I shouldn't. But I got my husband on it just under a month right now.
excellent.
So yeah.
There are a couple questions in the chat, guys.
would
Somebody wanted to know if GLP-1 is something that can be tested.
What we'll do, Pam, give me just like 2 seconds. We're going to do a Q&A. I
Okay.
just need to get through a couple more slides, but thank you for that. And Tina, if you wouldn't mind hanging out for a couple of minutes, I just want to close out the slides and open up the screen so that we can see everybody's picture. Because, you know, your body is talking. Are you listening? Is it time to upgrade your supplements? Now, you know, we talked about the Daily Essentials being a great place to start any protocol, but ask the person that invited you on this Zoom tonight to send you a link to their 60-second health quiz. It literally takes 60 seconds to fill this out, and it will guide you to products that will help customize a nutritional protocol based on your needs. It's incredible what this does. And finally, if you're looking to upgrade, option 1, I recommend everybody go with the Daily Essentials. I mean, think about what people are spending on coffee today, and yet to have a drink. When I do my Daily Essentials, I don't necessarily I love coffee, but I don't need the coffee anymore. Today, I just realized I made coffee in the morning. 6 o'clock, I hadn't even taken the first sip of it. So drinking it now, I might be up all night, but that's okay. Option 2, go for the ultimate protocol. Combine the H2 tablets with the Daily Essentials. Finally, option 3, the Go Trim Slim, Go Trim Thin is a great product if you want to jumpstart your weight loss. And as always, when we do these events for the next 24 hours, ask the person that invited you on here if you want to get started with something about a 10% off coupon. We always offer that as a promotional special. So Pam, thank you so much for monitoring the chat, and let's jump right into Q&A. Pam, you had something
Okay.
good.
So somebody wanted to know if GLP-1 is something that can be tested.
Tina, I don't have the
I
answer.
don't know the answer to that. It
either.
certainly wouldn't be tested from serum, from blood.
Right.
You know, I do a lot of Dutch testing, which is dried urine hormone testing. I don't think it's produced in the stomach. It depends on if it's metabolized in through the kidneys and the urine, if they could test it through the urine, but I've never heard of it.
Right. And certainly you never know, down the road they may come out with a test for it, but I have not heard of it either.
Okay. And then somebody else wants to know if you can take more than 2 capsules a day of the Go Trim Thin.
I don't know if you want to handle this. What I recommend is sticking with what it says on the label and just being patient. This is not a lose weight quick, make money fast, lose weight quick type, press a button and it works. It's something that you just want to be consistent with. And
Yeah, and
go
the
ahead.
label does recommend taking it at the same time every day. So either, you know, with your breakfast or with your lunch, but as long as you're going to be consistent. It can, however, be paired with the Go Trim Slim product, which is the registered trademarked ingredient, and that is called Slendacor, which is just a blend of curry extract, turmeric, and horseradish extract. And those work synergistically, like I said, to really support muscle building, which is going to help that metabolism. So they can be used together, the slim and the thin.
Okay. And then somebody was asking if the GLP-1 helps us build our own GLP-1. Is the
The-
thin GLP-1 or does it help us
No.
build our own? That's the
Now,
question.
thin is not a GLP-1. It's lemon extract, Areomen. It's a butyrate, the short chain fatty acid. So we do use it with our advanced digestive support formula too, which is going to really support that gut microbiome with the berberine, which we know stabilizes blood sugars, and the butyrate, the short chain fatty acid. But it is not a GLP-1. The injectables are a synthetic GLP-1. So it's made in a lab to mimic the natural GLP-1 that our bodies produce. This product is going to work with your body to enhance its ability to make more GLP-1, but also to treat the gut microbiome. So whatever GLP-1 is produced is going to have a longer acting effect in the gut.
Great answer.
Then do you have any experience using the injectable GLP-1 with the Go Trim Thin? And I think you said you didn't use the injectables at all, right?
Never used them, but I have several clinicians in.
Oh,
Tina?
we lost you, Tina. Oh, there you are. We lost your voice for a second.
Oh, I have several clinicians that I've worked with that have weight loss practices and using the injectables. And that's when I got them started with the Slim product, using that to try it, because they were the ones telling me that their patients were non-compliant, you know, because I asked them, what are you doing to prevent that muscle loss? Well, I tell them they have to have 60 milligrams of protein. Are they? No. And also these clinicians were telling me they spent a significant amount of their time getting pre-authorization from the insurance companies. So they were losing so much time from patient care. It was crazy because they had small practices and they didn't have a big staff to do that for them. So, but the thin can be used in conjunction with the GLP-1 injectable as they're weaning off of it. So if they know they're not going to be getting the next injection, or that they can start the thin to try and help their own natural GLP-1 production. Because the other thing that happens is hormones have been my thing my whole life. As I've always, you know, and back in the day, I used to teach most of our hormones are biofeedback. Okay, so that if we have enough on board, the body says, oh, we don't need to make any, we're good. But then what happens is you do them for gosh knows how long, you know, months and months and months, your body forgets how to make GLP-1s. So now when you go off them, your body doesn't know how to make them, and you've killed your metabolism. That's why people can gain more weight than what they lost.
Thank
So,
you. I've got one more question in here, and it's somebody that knows about our GoTrim program and more of the products, and if they can take the GoTrim Slim and the Thin and the Core all at the same time.
well, yes and no. They can take all three of those products, but they wouldn't be taking them all at the same time, because the Slim is meant to be taken 30 minutes before a meal. The Thin is taking right after a meal. And the Core is twice a day. So, you know, and that's also 45 minutes before a meal. So I would say, you know, you could take the Slim for breakfast, you could take the Thin after breakfast, you could take the Core before dinner, and, you know, and they work differently. But you have to, all of our products were in with the GoTrim line were designed so that you could use them all, and they're different, they work in different mechanisms of the body. But you know, as a clinician, what I do is work with the individual patient. GoTrim program is an individualized program. One size doesn't fit all. So I would say work with your coach and see what supplements are going to best help you with what your issues are. Not everybody has the same issues around weight management.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all the questions I've got.
Thank you, Pam. That was awesome. And Tina, thank you so much for taking the time tonight. You are a wealth of information. I'm sure everybody would agree. Really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who stayed on a little longer than we normally do tonight to get this information in. And again, get back with the person that invited you on here if you'd like more information or have additional questions. And most importantly, everybody have a great evening.
Good night, everybody.